Hello, my name is Gael Solano and I'm gonna talk about a business trip to Germany. So first we have to see the main cities of Germany and where are we more prone to travel if we're doing it for business. So the main cities is Berlin, which is the capital. Then we have Düsseldorf, which is the center of business. And then we have Frankfurt, which is one of the most important ones because it's the financial center of whole Europe. We look at some economic details, which is the GDP. Germany GDP is one of the biggest in Europe and is about $3,948 billion. This was in 2018. Then, Germany is actually one of the biggest exporters in whole Europe and is also one of the, it competes with Arabic too. Okay, so now we're gonna look at how to get around Germany. We'll firstly is transportation, how we're gonna arrive. Well, Germany has some national airlines, which is called German Airways. Then from the United States we have Delta, that they do really good discounts, and a lot of business people uses Delta when they travel into to Germany. Once we're there at the airport, so we have three options. We would rather rent a car, we use a taxi, or we use public transportation. So for renting a car, I wouldn't recommend it if it's your first time because it's different than your home country. It's gonna be really different to your home countries. Then the parking rules are really strict. And second thing that I think is really important is that in some highways of Germany there is not a speed limit. So if you're not used to high speeds or you don't like to speed up, it's not the best way to go. Then we have public transportation, and public transportation in Germany is one of the best ones. We have the Deutsche Bahn, or the German rail service, or one that is called Intercity Express, and these are one of the Europe's fastest trains to get around. So it's a great option. Then we have in major cities, now we get in the city we're gonna be during a few days, we have the S-Bahn or the subway. And the S-Bahn is kind of like a train, like a subway, but it goes up ground, it doesn't go underground. And then we have these little machines, so before you you ride the van or the S-Bahn or the U-Bahn, you have to get a ticket from these machines, otherwise they won't let you in. Okay, now that we know how to get around and how to get to our first point, which will be our accommodation or our hotel, well, we're gonna talk about what is a typical food in Germany. Well, typically or stereotypically will be like sausage, sauerkraut, and of course beer. Germans are famous for these things, but it's not the only thing. Southern and northern foods are gonna be different. Then we'll look at accommodation, where to stay. Well, first we need to know which city are we going to. And if we're going to stay in Frankfurt, which is more, if you're traveling for business, is more probably that you'll be staying there. You're just gonna stay in Frankfurt downtown. That's my recommendation because it's gonna be close to public transportation and probably close to your hotel and other attractions when you're not working. And very probably it's gonna be close to where you're gonna be having meetings and all that. And then if you're going to Berlin, it's kind of different to other cities because it doesn't have like a city center, but there's something called the Mitte, which literally transmits to center, but it's not really a center, and it's where like all the architectural and touristic pieces or stuff is. So I will recommend to stay there because it's gonna be fun when you're not working too. Just look at buildings and some historic and stuff. Then, if you're staying in Munich, Munich is more of a touristic place and it's not very used for business travel. But if you're staying there for some reason, one of the coolest cities in Europe is Alstadt. That's the neighborhood of Munich, and it's really like hipster, and there's a lot of boutiques and pretty shops. So it's really nice if you go there for business because you're gonna have a really good time. And then we have what is the weather in Germany. Germany, it's cold, especially if you're from Mexico or the United States or anywhere in America. Germany is gonna be like way colder for you than usually is. But for example, for spring is between the 40s and 60s Fahrenheit, which is not very hot, and you'll have to bring a light jacket or something like that. And then for summer, it will go to mid 70s, which usually here in Mexico, summer will be usually 80 or 90 Fahrenheit, so it's a little bit colder. But you can bring shorts, hats, and a light jacket in the evening. Then fall goes at 50s or a little bit low 50s, but not too low. And it's good to bring long sleeves, more like wintry clothes. And then we have winter, which goes between 25 to 40, and it's really cool. You have to bring really big jackets, scarves, and everything you need to don't suffer from cold. And it also depends on which part of Germany you are. So if you're very north, like let's say Berlin, it's gonna be really cold. It's gonna be like 10 degrees colder than if you are in the south. And okay, so what do they speak in Germany? Okay, Germany, they'll speak German, of course. And then the next spoken English, spoken idiom or language will be English, next to French, and then Russian. How's the government in Germany? Well, the government in Germany is a federal democracy. It is conformed by 16 states, you can see here. And the president or the governor is elected every 4 years. Right now, the president of Germany is Frank-Walter Steinmeier. Now we're gonna talk about why it's very probably that you'll be doing business with Germany, or why is it a great idea. Well, Germany has a free market laws and has a really good policies about doing business for people that is not from Germany, and they will apply the same, like if the government is helping local business for Germans, they will also give you that help to you even though if you're not German. So it's a great place for investment. Now that we have seen how to get around, what is the food, what is the accommodations, what are the cities like, we're gonna go into more of a business approach, and we're gonna talk about business appointments for a little bit. So the first thing is punctuality, and everybody knows, so the whole world knows that Germans are known because of punctuality. So if you are 15 minutes late, they're gonna be upset at you. Like, don't be late, don't be 5 minutes late, be very, very punctual. And what to talk about with Germans, it's appropriate to talk about sports, especially football, and German beer, holidays, and work. That's some topics you can talk about with Germans. In Germany, small gifts, it's nice to bring from your own country. Like if you bring small detail from Mexico and you bring them to them, but don't bring something really big or expensive because they will feel uncomfortable. Then we have business meetings and meals, like how to dress. The dress code is very simple. Just wear simple black or gray with white. women can wear high heels, but not very high. Take a very conservative approach. And this can change in industries like information technologies, where everything is more casual, but usually it's like this. And finally, if you are attending a business meal, you have to wait for the host to start drinking or eating first, and then usually he will pay for the check. You don't have to pay for the check, but if they come to your country, then it's your responsibility for paying for the check. And I think this is it. We talk about how to get around Germany, a little bit about business culture in Germany. So I hope you guys got something of this, and I hope you guys like it. Thank you.